Recording in progress.
All righty. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Greetings, family, friends, and the world. This is Mikael Eric Harris, better known as the Juice, also known as the Alkaline Water Guy. How is everyone doing on this beautiful Sabbath day? Today is what we call February 30th, I think February 31st. 2026. January 31st, 2026, the last day of January, as they call it. And this is Sabbath, Assembly of the Righteous. This is where we come together in righteousness and having a holy convocation unto the Creator, doing His will that He chose for us to do and to keep. So, in doing this, we come here on the Sabbath, every Sabbath at 12 p.m. noon, which is at the end of the morning, at the beginning of the evening, 12 p.m. noon. And we come here to go through the book, through the Creator's word, through His law, statutes, and His covenant and His prophecy that He has given to His prophets. So, but other than that, I like to say, and we're here, like I say, 12 p.m. noon. This is Assembly of the Righteous. And I like to thank my brother Barack and my beautiful baby Joanne, Miss Joe, for joining us on this beautiful Sabbath day. So we can go through the word, see what has been spoken of according to the Creator, through the scriptures, and what has happened in our past history. This is actually our history. All right. So, as we get started, we're gonna first start off with a prayer. After we're done with our prayer, what we'll do is we go through the commandments, and then after the commandments, we go through the reasons why we have prophets, and that's all in the scriptures. The reason why we have prophets, actually, because we asked for it, and then from there we're going through our lesson for today, and the lesson today is going to be First Kings chapter 2 and chapter. We're going to go through First Kings chapter 2 and we're going to go through chapter 3. Chapter 2 and chapter 3 we're going to go through today. We're only going to go through chapter 2, and part 2 we'll go through chapter 3. Other than that, start off with our prayer. Blessed be thou, Father of the universe, that bring forth all living creatures forth from the earth. Blessed be thou, Father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Blessed be the Father of Israel. Blessed be the Father of 12 tribes of Israel. Thank you, Father, for all you've done, been doing, and plan to do. We ask you to keep giving us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, life, health, and strength, food, shelter, and clothing. Let us be happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, and prosperous in all that we do. We ask you to keep leading and guiding us so we can help lead and guide others in your knowledge, your word, your ruach, and your way. We ask you to keep us in every way, help us in every way, allow us to grow in your knowledge and retain the information as it comes. Let us retain it in our memory so we can help others when it comes for questions to be asked, so answers can be given. We thank you for what you've given us and what you brought us to and brought us through. We also ask you to forgive us of all the sins and past deeds we've done in time past, today's time and time to come that we may not understand or know about that's sinful to you and in your way. We ask you to forgive us, our ancestors, and our forefathers for the sins that they have done, we have done, and correct us in measure, and also lift the spirit of deep sleep from us that we may grow into your knowledge and in your way. We thank you, Father, for all you've done, been doing, and plan to do. We ask you to help us in every way, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, financial, or spiritual. In all these things we pray. Hallelujah. 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 Praise you, Almighty. Praise you, Almighty. All right, let's see who's coming in. Glenda Starks. Let me see who this may be. We're going to pause this real quick.
Recording stopped.
See who this may be. Greetings, Miss Stark. Can I ask who you may be? Miss Glenda Stark?
I'm in another meeting. Sorry about that. Thank God, we have.
All right, thank you.
Recording in progress.
All right, yeah, I just wanted to make sure who that was. That was somebody in a different meeting. I guess they were jumping into our meeting. I don't know what that was. But other than that, we're going to get started with the commandments. We're in Genesis We're in Genesis chapter 20. I'm sorry, Exodus chapter 20. And by being in Exodus chapter 20, we are reading from the laws of Yah, the laws of the Creator. Laws of the Creator that He has given to the children of Israel at Mount Sinai in the wilderness, where He spoke to all the children in the congregation of Israel. He spoke them, and then Moses went into the mountain to retrieve them, as we're about to read. So right now, we're in Exodus chapter 20, verse 1. And it's the 10 Commandments, starting off that. And Yah spake all these words. And Yah spake all these words, saying, I am Yah thy father, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. First commandment, thou shalt have no other deities which are gods before me. Second commandment, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yah thy father, am a jealous father, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and the fourth generation of them that hate me. I like to rephrase it and say it a little bit like this. I, Yah thy father, am a jealous father, visiting the iniquity, the ignorance, and the sins of the parents, the fathers, which really the parents that's in the household raising the children in this day and time. The parents upon the children, which you teach your children, which you've come to know, unto the third, which is the Greek, and the fourth, which is the Roman generation, world powers of them that hate me. That's where I like to rephrase it to. Then it says, and showing mercy, which is grace, unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Third commandment, thou shalt not take the name of Yah thy father in vain, for Yah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. And I also like to read it this way. Thou shalt not take the law, which is the name of Yah thy father, in vain, for Yah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his law, which is his name, in vain. The fourth commandment, remember the Sabbath day to keep it hallowed, which is set aside. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yah thy father. In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yah made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Set it aside. Fifth commandment, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yah thy father giveth thee. And that's being respectable. Sixth commandment, thou shalt not murder. Even though it says thou shalt not kill, it's actually thou shalt not murder. When you murder, you're taking life without a cause. When you kill, you're taking life is a reason for the cause of taking a life, like sacrifices, for instance. We take sacrifices, which is you're taking the life of an animal in order to eat. So that's what thou shalt not kill compared to thou shalt not murder. Seventh commandment, thou shalt not commit adultery, which is thou shalt not lay down with another man's woman or another man's woman, man that has women. If they belong to that man, you lay down with him, you're committing adultery. If you're a woman and you lay down with any other man than the man that you have given to your soul, you've given your soul to, which you have opened, you are committing adultery, which is idolatry. Eighth commandment, thou shalt not steal, right? Which is take from one another. Ninth commandment, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. As I always share, lawyers, attorneys, and prosecutors does this all the time. By standing in for somebody but wasn't there to see the actual crime or the situation that happened. And 10th and last commandment that the Creator spoke to the children of Israel: thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is neighbor's. That means you don't take or want anything that is anyone else's. Get something like it, but that don't mean you have to take theirs. All right. Now we're coming to the point where the people has asked for a prophet by asking for a prophet from Moses, and the Creator has given prophets at this point in time. So right here, the 18th verse, right after the 10th commandment, this is the people's fear. Verse 18, and all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking, and when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. So when you hear thunder and lightning outside at your house, like I always share, when you hear thunder and lightning outside, you get in a corner or you sit back, you cut all the lights off, and some ancestors used to say, God speaking. That's what our ancestors used to say. Nowadays, people don't have fear of the Creator. Some people don't. So, but yet still when you hear thunder and lightning at the Creator's uttering his voice, as some people say. And right here, that's when they stood afar off. They got scared being under all that in the wide open field compared to being in the house. And 19, and number 19 is your key. And they said, who? The people. And they said unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not Yah, God, speak with us, lest we die. That's how fearful they was. 20. And Moses said unto the people, fear not, for Yah is come to prove you, prove all things, that his fear may be before your face, that you sin not, that you don't sin. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where Yah the Father was. All right. So we're going to go from there to Deuteronomy 18 for the conclusion of the prophets. Deuteronomy 18, we'll start at, I think, verse 15. All right. I usually have that set, but here we go. Deuteronomy 18, verse 15 states, this is a promised prophet. Yah thy father will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, of the people of your family, of thy brethren, like unto me, which is Moses. Unto him ye shall hearken. You're going to listen to, you're going to hear rather. According, verse 16, according to all that thou desirest of Yah thy father in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear, this is your key verse right here to 19, 20 and 19. Let me not hear again the voice of Yah my father, neither let me see this great fire anymore, that I die not. That's what the people said. Now this is when the Creator spoke here, verse 17. 17, 18, and 19, the Creator spoke, matter of fact, all the way through. And Yah said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have spoken. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren. The Creator said this. From among their brethren, like unto thee, Moses, and will put my words in his mouth. That means the Creator going to be speaking. And this is what people fail to realize. If the Creator said it, it's law, no matter what, good or bad, right or wrong, evil or not evil, whatever you want to call it. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, Moses, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. The Creator going to be speaking that. Verse 19, and it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my word, this is the Creator speaking, which he shall speak, which the prophets shall speak, in my name, is something I always emphasize and let you get an understanding. This is they're speaking in the Creator's name. I will require it of him. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, in the Creator's name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other deities, other gods, like Jesus, for instance, Prophet Muhammad, for instance, stuff that people don't understand. Even that prophet shall die. And if thou say in thine heart, how shall we know the word which Yah has not spoken? Or any other prophet y'all want to say that may be speaking in the name of another deity. When a prophet speaketh in the name of Yah, see, the key is speaking in the name of the Creator. If the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which Yah has not spoken, but the prophets have spoken it presumptuously. Thou shalt not be afraid of him. That's your key. A lot of these other men are speaking, but they ain't speaking in the name of the Creator. So now, where we are, this week we're in 1 Kings chapter 3. Last week we did chapter 2, and that was Solomon was taking care of business in chapter 2. In chapter 2, David charged Solomon with some issues to take care of from time past to clear up some things in the future. So David charged Solomon to take care of these things because he's the king now. So David charged him to take care of some things. As a matter of fact, let me get that with you real quick. Verse 3 and 4. Well, actually, if I should, that was the blessing. 5 through 10. No, 5 through 11, but 5 through 9, the Creator gave charge for what Solomon should do. Mainly, he talked about Joab. He talked about Shemiel. He talked about Abathar. Well, what he did, he put these to death. Solomon put them to death. That's why I called last week Solomon handling business. And he talked about the things that had happened with Joab had killed certain people. He murdered certain people, should I say. David never murdered him, but not murdered. David didn't kill him because of the things because he's working under David, but yet still, it's things that he did that was unrighteous. He murdered 2 men, right? Adoniah tried to be he tried to be slick and take the kingdom, and Solomon had to put him to death, and that's his older brother. What happened over here with Abathar, deprived of the priesthood, and then not only deprived of the priesthood, he went out and Solomon told him to do one thing. Years passed, about 3 years later passed, he ended up leaving, and he told him don't leave. He got to put out the first house arrest. A lot of people don't know that was the first house arrest. Meaning he had to stay in a certain area and he wasn't supposed to leave out. If he did, you're gonna die. Put it like that. I was about to say lose your head, but he passed. And Joab was put to death because of things he did. He murdered 2 men, you know what I'm saying? And one place, he not only murdered him, he also murdered Absalom, which he killed Absalom. Stuck 3 darts in his heart. You know what I'm saying? He hanging in a tree by the head. And David told him not to do nothing to him, because David knew that he was the reason why the situation happened. And that felt guilty on David. But everything is because what needs to happen. And I look at everyone carries out whatever is permitted on them, because if you got a certain heart to be a certain way, these things gonna come back on you. If you got a heart to be a certain type of way, whatever that way is, it's gonna come back on you in the future. Like Joab, he got away with a lot. Even though he respected David and he respected David as king, he got away with a lot. I remember when I was young, I used to want to be like Joab, but I hadn't actually read the story to understand how he was. I know he was dedicated to David, but after I actually reading the information and studying, Joab, he was his own man, and he was out of turn in many different ways, Then Shimei, he cursed David out in the wilderness, threw rocks at him. Good to see you, G1. Glad you can make it. Shimei, he cursed David in the midst of everybody, throwing rocks at him and everything. And then David promised that he wouldn't kill him, but that didn't mean his son wasn't going to do it. So y'all go back and read chapter 2. It's very interesting in chapter 2. So now we're in chapter 3. Today we're going to be doing chapter 3 in part 1, and part 2 we're going to be doing chapter 4. Chapter 3, and then we're going to be doing chapter 4 in part 2. Yeah, because 4 is short, so is 3. But 3 is all right. But we get ready to get started. This is Solomon's marries Pharaoh's daughters. All right, this is verse 3. This is chapter 3. 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 1. And Solomon made affinity with Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and took Pharaoh's daughter and brought her into the city of David, until he had made an end of building his own house, and the house of Yah, and the wall of Jerusalem round about. So there's 3 things he did. I gotta get my pen ready. What he did, okay, he took Pharaoh's daughter. That's one thing he did wrong, but she may have been given to him by Pharaoh. See, a lot of times, Solomon was wise, but, I'm saying but, no, there's things that happen, and certain things he was to do and certain things he was not to do. But then again, I can't say if he was to take her or not. I know Israel supposed to marry Israel, but he's the king, so I'm not going to say yeah or nay to that. It ain't my purpose. Whatever happened, it all happened for a purpose. And he had a purpose, but a lot of people don't know. When you get done listening to all this, I'm going to give you the understanding of his purpose, where people don't even understand his purpose. And Solomon made affinity with Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and took Pharaoh's daughter and brought her into the city of David, until he had made an end of building his own house. That's one, he built his house, and the house of Yah, and the wall of Jerusalem, round about, wall of Jerusalem. Number 2, only the people sacrifice in high places. Only the people sacrifice in high places, because there was no house built unto the name of Yah until those days. So people was out there sacrificing because there was no place, one place built for everybody to come to, which some people call churches now. Some people call them churches. But yet still the people out there doing the same thing that Samuel was doing, but they was out there doing them in high places. And this is how it became far as I'm concerned, this is how it became a ritual and became idolatry, because they didn't have nowhere to go. But who said that they was doing wrong? I ain't seen that yet. I'm gonna see where it comes up on it though. Because it just said they was doing sacrifices. It said only the people sacrificed in high places, because there was no house built in the name of Yah until those days. Now, Solomon prays for wisdom. Here we go. Solomon prays for wisdom. Solomon loved Yah, walking in the statutes of David, his father. Only he sacrificed and burnt incense in high place. See, he sacrificed and did it himself. So if he loved the Creator, he knew what he was doing while he was doing it. He wasn't sacrificing to other deities. He was sacrificing in high places until the situation happened. And the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, because that's where Samuel used to sacrifice at, in Gibeon. That's where they used to go to do the sacrifices, and the people will wait on them. Right? Smell right here's about gone. In Gibeon, Yah appeared unto Solomon. Here we go. In Gibeon, Yah appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. Yah appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. Ask what I shall give thee. See that? Ask what shall I give thee? And Solomon said, Thou hast showed unto thy servant. Hold on. Should I get this real quick? And Solomon said, Thou hast showed unto thy servant David my father great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth, and in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. Put that in. Thou hast shown unto thy servant David my father great mercy, according as he had walked before thee in truth, and in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. And now, O Yah, my father, sorry about that. And now, let's get this out of here. Hold on. And now, O Yah, my father, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David, my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in. I know not how to go out. I know not how to go out or to come in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. That's the same as today. And you know what gets me? I don't know how the statistics says that it's more Caucasian in this land than us. I don't get that. I don't get it. I don't know how there's more Caucasians in this land than us. But that's what the statistics say, all right? Ain't that what the statistics say? I can't see it, and I don't understand it. See, they can say anything with books and or whatever they want to say with certain things, but I don't get it. Verse 9. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad, for who is able to judge this day so great a people? Okay, and this is what he said. I'll make sure I put this in a line color, because this is special. And this stands out. And the speech pleased Yah, that Solomon asked this thing. It pleased the Creator that he asked this thing. And Yah now. And Yah said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. So you got to understand, the Creator seen everything, but the fact that he even asked that goes beyond measure. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart. You see that? I have thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any rise like unto thee. None shall rise like unto Solomon. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. No king like unto Solomon. He said here is all your days. No king is going to be like you in all days. People fail to realize this. There'll never be a. That's why people have so much respect for Haile Selassie, which is actually the seed of Solomon. A lot of people have much respect for him. And this is another key. This is another one. And if thou walk in my ways to keep my statutes and my commandments, as this verse 14. Now I'm going to put this in a different color. And if thou walk in my ways to keep my statutes and my commandments, as thy father David did walk in my then I will lengthen thy days. You see that? And Solomon awoke, and behold, it was a dream. So it seemed real. I had one last night myself. And Solomon woke, and behold, it was a dream. And he came to Jerusalem and stood before the ark of the covenant of Yah, and offered up burnt offerings. And so he was in Jerusalem at this time. I don't know if Gibeah, I don't know if that was in Jerusalem or not. But what he's saying here, he came to Jerusalem and stood before the ark of the covenant of Yah, and offered up burnt offerings and offered peace offerings, and made a feast, and made to all his servants, made a feast to all his servants. Now, Solomon's wisdom and prosperity. Here we go. Solomon's wisdom and prosperity, which is the name of today's lesson. Verse 16. Then came there two women. Okay, here we go. Then came there two women that were harlots, whores, as my boy Steve Lott would say, unto the king, and stood before him. And the one woman said, O my lord, I and this woman dwelt in one house. Whores in the same house. And the one woman said, O my lord, I and this woman dwell in one house. And I was delivered of a child with her in the house. And it came to pass the third day, after that I was delivered, that this woman was delivered also. And we were together. There was no stranger with us in the house, save we two in the house. There were just us two. And this woman's child died in the night, because she overlaid it. She laid over it. And she arose at midnight, and took from beside me, while thine handmaid slept, while I was asleep, and laid it in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom. And when I rose in the morning, I gave my child suck. Behold, it was dead. But when I had considered it in the morning, behold, it was not my son, which I did bear. She could see it because it was 3 days later. So her child was 3 days old before the other child came. That's how she knew the difference. And the other woman said, Nay, but the living is my son, and the dead is thy son. Mm. Said, nay, but the living is my son, and the other dead is thy son. And this said, no, but the dead is thy son, and the living is my son. Thus they spake before the king. Sound like women of the day, don't it? Don't it sound like some of the stuff that we be hearing people go through today? Arguing, this is about something. I was about to say arguing about nothing, but this is about something. Both of them had children, and you know what was coming to my mind? Just to tell you on this story, what was coming to my mind in this? You know how you sleep. A lot of people, some people sleep light, some people sleep heavy. Now, this woman knows the girl, knows her friend. If she laid over her baby, if she must be a heavy sleeper, and she had her baby up under her, and she probably laid over it and suffocated the baby. Baby couldn't move. And she was a very hard sleeper. Compared to the other woman, she may have been a light sleeper. She may have been light or semi-light, speaking to the point where she took the baby from her, stuck her baby up under her, and she took her baby like that. So that was in my thought. You know. But still, the timing of the babies is 3 days. So they would have knew each other's baby, which one is maybe a little bit smaller compared to the one that may be in 3 days old, had been a little bit more a factor in this dimension compared to the other one just coming out. 23. Then said the king, the one saith, this is my son that liveth, and the son is the dead. And the other saith, nay, but the son is the dead, and my son is the living. And the king said, bring me a sword. And they brought a sword before the king. Right? And the king said, divide the living child in two, and give half to the one and half to the other. That was very smart, though, the way he played it. Oh, let me see how we're going to do this. Put this in dark green. And the king said, bring me a sword. And they brought a sword before the king. And the king said, divide the living child in two, and give the half to one and half to the other. Then spake the woman whose the living child was. I'm going to do something here. Then spake the woman who the living child was. Let me see. I'm going to go. I ain't going to worry about it real quick. I'll come back to that. Then spake the woman to who the living child was unto the king, for her bowels yearned. You know, and her bowels yearned upon her son. And she said, oh my Lord, oh my Yah. No, oh my Lord, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. But the other said, let it be neither. Oh, there you go. That goes to show evil, the thoughts. But the other said, let it be neither mine nor thine, but divided. She was jealous. Don't that sound like some of the women today? Hey, baby. Don't that sound like some of the women of today? Selfish. Thank you, sweetie. Love you, baby. Don't that sound like some of the women of today? Selfish. That even sound like women with the men today. You got a lot of these men out here You got a lot of these women trying to break up homes. You got women that saying that, oh, they want to submit. Oh, then they'll go off on the ones that want to submit. That ain't your business. That ain't that person's business. People be all in other people's business. Something that don't even have nothing to do with them. They try to tell them, oh, you ought to do this. And the crazy thing is that they listen. That's why women are followers. They're followers. They will follow the next one. Woman says, oh, okay. Oh, okay. You got some that's leaders because they think for themselves. They think for themselves. If they think for themselves, they say, okay, no, I'm not gonna do this or whatever. Or they say, yeah, I'll do it. The next one, okay, I'll do it too. Or I'm saying, no, I ain't gonna do it. Oh, okay, I ain't gonna do it neither. They're followers. Verse 27. Then the king answered and said, give her to the living child. Give her to the living child. Give her the living child. Not two, ain't even there. Then the king answered, verse 27, and said, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. She is the mother thereof. And all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had judged, and they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of Yah was in him to do judgment. They feared him. See, fear don't mean scared. Fear means to be righteous. A lot of people don't understand what fear is, just like a lot of people don't understand what submit means. Some people don't understand what how you say thou shalt rule over thy wife, thou shalt thou shalt I think that's it, rule over their wife. They don't even understand what's meant behind it. People don't understand. A lot nowadays people have no understanding of most things that's going on. A lot of people don't. They don't have understanding of things that's happening today. A lot of them don't even understand half the words that they be talking about coming out their mouth. They don't do no research. They don't try to find out certain things that they need to know. And this is what Solomon, that one situation right there, as it says here, shows his wisdom and showed that the Creator was with him. So, I will ask at this point, so we got a little bit of time, what did y'all get out of this chapter 3 at this point in time? What all y'all get out of this chapter 3? Anybody? G1, Joanne, Barack? If y'all got anything out, if y'all did, we can get ready to move on to the end of chapter 3. We'll go to chapter 4. Well, since nobody's saying nothing, nobody's stepping up. Okay, we got Joe. Okay, baby, there we go.
I was trying. Sorry, reason it went on mute.
I understand.
Me being a woman of prayer, I think Solomon was he had a great mindset because he talked to the Creator. He wasn't so materialistic about everything, and he could have asked the Creator for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Creator said, he could have asked for anything, riches. Father was at that moment in the I will give you whatever you ask moment. And he decided out of all the things he could have truly asked for was wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me was the highest of all things he could have asked for. Because you could have all the cars and money and women and homes, land, and not know how to utilize it.
There you go.
And so just having the sense to talk to the Creator and having the sense to ask him, because see, first of all, he grew up under all of that. David had all of that.
That's
right?
right.
So him and his own, he probably already had that, but he asked for it anyway. Father knew he had that in him to ask for knowledge and wisdom because all of the things that he saw his father do. Not to say that David did anything wrong, but he wanted to know how to utilize everything. He wanted to know. He wanted discernment, which is one of the highest things that you could have, and especially when you're running a let's say in the worldly term, a multi-billion or trillion industry. He's not running the industry. He's running his estate or his kingship.
His kingdom.
His kingdom. So he needed to know how to run it. He wanted to know how to discern, how to judge, because he's a king. And he wanted to judge correctly. So I think that book right there was pretty much one that I would really like to read over. Just this chapter. Really go over in my leisure, because of the things that Solomon had to go through, even in receiving the kingdom. He chose to talk to the Father about it and not just do what he thought was right. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Oh, that's good. Before I go any further, I wanted to share something that the Creator said to David. Excuse me. Something that the Creator said to David, I think a lot of people don't pay attention to. Yah made a covenant to David. And I want to say this right now, since we're at this point and at this beginning point, and since this is the prosperity of Solomon, right? Over here in 2 Samuel chapter 7, it was something that was said that a lot of people misrepresent, misquote, or misunderstand. I'm glad we right here that I can go ahead and share it. And I'm glad while you were saying that, baby, while you were sharing what you were saying, that was kind of brought back to my attention to come look for where I got right now. All right. 2 Samuel chapter 7. We're going to start at verse 10. And I'm going to take from 10 to 17 for a purpose. Right? And it states this, verse 10. Moreover, I will appoint I call this Yah's covenant and David's prayer. But it's Yah's covenant and David's prayer for the whole chapter 7. But Yah's covenant is this, what I'm about to give to you. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel and will plant them that they may dwell in a place of their own and move no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them anymore. That was in the time of judgment. Judges, the time of Judges. Here we go in verse 11. And since the time that I commanded judges, I was just sharing with you, to be over my people Israel, and have caused to rest from all thine enemies, also Yah telleth thee that he will make thee a house. Here we go. Because David, look at the beginning of verse chapter 7, David inquired of making a house, right, for the Creator. He thought about it anyway. So, verse 12 is what we get ready to get to. 12 is your key. And when thy days be fulfilled, talking to David, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed. Everybody take this all the way to the New Testament, which wasn't what it was talking about. And I will set up thy seed after thee, check it out, which shall proceed out of thy bowels. This ain't Jesus. This is not Jesus. This is talking about Solomon. Which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. This is what people fail to realize. 13. He shall build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. See, the kingdom is already David's kingdom, but his kingdom is being established forever. This is what I want to tell you how his kingdom is established forever. David had 1,000 wives. Solomon had 1,000 wives. All those wives had children. The 700 wives of Israel, 300 concubines, different nations. All those children is of the seed of Solomon through David. But all those seeds coming through Solomon, they're scattered throughout the whole earth. That's why it says, and he shall build a house. He shall build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. The throne, the kingdom is the earth. It's the creator's kingdom. But the people walking upon the earth is seeds of Solomon through the seed of David. 14, I will be his father, talking about Solomon, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men. Right? Whether if it's talking about the seed beyond, or maybe talking about Solomon right there. And with the stripes of the children of men. But my mercy shall not depart away from him, as I took it from Saul, whom I put away before thee. And thine house and thine kingdom shall be established. See there, talking to David. And thine house and thine kingdom shall be established forever before thee. Thy throne shall be established forever. According to all these words and according to all this vision did Nathan speak unto David. Why? That's a covenant of the Creator to David, through David to his son that came out of his loins, which had the 1,000. And a lot of people see this is what people don't realize. Oh, he had 1,000 wives, and when he got old, he transgressed it. But before he got old, he was doing everything according to the law. And the Creator said he's not going to take his glory away from, or he's not going to take his I'm gonna say glory, but y'all know what word we say. I'm not a quoter. He's not going to take away as he did with Saul. The Creator is a man. Creator is of his word, not a man, not a woman, but the Creator is the consciousness of his word. He gonna what he say stand. So, but people are quick to put Solomon down because he has so many wives. People don't study to understand to know. That's the problem we have today. Well, G1, is there anything you wanted to share, bro? According to the situation or to the information of chapter 3? Brother Barack, is there anything you wanted to share? Well, I thank you, baby. Miss Joe, I appreciate your comment on the chapter 3 that we just read. But another thing I wanted to share as well on that same chapter, his wisdom through those two women. And I'm going to tell you, if y'all can't see that in the women and the people, just not just the women, but mostly women, because that's how they act, but the women and the people of today, if y'all can't see that, y'all don't have eyes to see and ears to hear. Same thing with in a different category or in a different scenario, but the women are the exact same way today. But that's just to the extreme of life and death. That's the extreme. But I'd have got that woman for lying. I probably did something to her or put her up, put her in prison for about a week, make her think about what she did. But who knows? Solomon handled it the way he needed to. That was chapter 3. So what we're going to do, we're going to end part 1, which is Solomon's wisdom and prosperity. For part 1, Solomon's wisdom and prosperity for part 1. This is the end of that. So before we go out, I'd just like to say that I am that Mikael in Daniel chapter 12, verses 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's me. Showing the holy people who they're really supposed to be. Waking them out of their dead beds, which is really in their heads. For all of you who's living in the new, this is for you. I'm that same Mikael in Revelation 12, battling that red dragon where Satan dwells, who deceiveth the whole world but prevaileth not, because the horn is blown without a doubt. This was prophesied for you to see that Mikael is really me. We'll be right back with part 2 in a few moments. But other than that, we're going to pause Zoom. We're going to pause Zoom, and then we're going to go into part 2 in a few moments. So Zoom, we'll be right back. Thank you for coming through. For everybody that came through, we'll be right back. We're going to pause Zoom, and we'll be right back with part 2. Peace and love. Peace.
Recording stopped.
All right. And for Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube Live, if you'd like to get in contact with us, first I'd like to share with you, on Tuesdays, we have Introduction to Sovereign Class of Knowledge. 2 classes, one at 7:30 a.m. for those who work late, and 9 o'clock p.m. for those who work early. So you can make it throughout that day or that time. Excuse me. And what we're doing here is we're helping people get to their sovereign status. And it's a lot that come with that. We only share so much about it. If you'd like to know more, come on Sundays where we have an open conversation where we can only tell you so much about it. But if you really want to come, please send your name, number, and email to lkhyym@gmail.com. Again, if you want to know more, or send your name, number, and email to my text me that. I don't know where my mind is at. Text me your name, number, and email. Tell me you want to know more about the sovereign class. And then what I would do, I'll take your email, put it in my calendar. And if you don't have Google Calendar, get Google Calendar, because I noticed that anybody supposed to have Google Calendar or don't have it, it should still be in there, but some it don't come up. So download Google Calendar. Once you text me your name, number, and email, I'll put it in my Google Calendar, and it'll send you an invite. Once it sends you an invite, what you would do, you would accept that invite. And now what I'm doing, I'm sending an NDA. When I send the NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement, meaning that the reason why we're doing it, a lot of people say it for other situations, but the reason why we're doing it, because if you decide to take the information that we're giving and you switch it up and try to make something else and happen with the information that we give you, and you get messed up behind it with this system, that's on you. Because we're giving you step by step, inch by inch, what to do and how to do. If you choose to do something outside of that, that's going to be on you. All right? That's why we have the NDA. So we have NDA. I'm going to send you directly, and then what you do, you'll sign that, and then you'll email you directly. You'll email it back to me, sign out, and then I will give you more information about entering into the classes at that point in time. So other than that, like I say, you can always email me, text me your name, number, and email at 770-572-5315. That's 770-572-5315. And or you can also email me at lkhyym@gmail.com. That's lkhyym@gmail.com. Now, if you'd like to get on our platforms, mainly our public platforms, we're on Instagram, on YouTube, and X, formerly known as Twitter. X, formerly known as Twitter, and we're also on YouTube at JuicePro33, which is spelled JUICEPRO 33. All together, one word. You can like, subscribe, and share as well. Again, that's JUICEPRO 33. Like, subscribe, and share to YouTube or X, formerly known as Twitter. You also connect with us on Facebook. My Facebook page is Mikael Harris, which is spelled MI''CHAEL space HARRIS. Again, that's MI''CHAEL space Harris. That's Mikael Harris on Facebook. Now you can also connect with us on Instagram and one of my TikToks. My Instagram and one of my TikToks is under L'chaim underscore the juice, which is spelled LKHYYM underscore THEJUICE. Again, that's LKHYYM underscore THEJUICE. All right. That's my Instagram and one of my TikToks. Put that in the search engine. Also, you can go to I have another TikTok and another YouTube. My other TikTok and my other YouTube is under Michael the Juice Harris, all together, one word, which is spelled MICHAELTHEJUICEHARRIS. Again, MICHAELTHEJUICEHARRIS. All right. It's all together, one word. Also, now if you want to see the full version, which is from the Zoom that we download, we have that on rumble.com and patreon.com, both of them /LKHYYM. Again, that's rumble.com and patreon.com, both of them /LKHYYM. Now, for the platforms, as I always share, the platform you can connect with us on. I'm gonna start with the Sabbath and take it on through Tuesday instead of skipping. So we're on the Sabbath day. We're on the Sabbath day as of today at 12 p.m. noon, and we're here at Sabbath Assembly of the Righteous. The Sabbath Assembly of the Righteous. We're here at 12 p.m. noon, which is the beginning of the evening and the end of the morning, which is the peak of the day, on quote unquote Saturdays, which is actually the Sabbath day. Now, the first day of the week, or the night after the first day, which is Sunday, we're on at 9 p.m. And that's Fight Fire with Truth, which is actually open conversation. We have open conversation on Fight Fire with Truth on Sunday, night after Sunday at 9 p.m. Also on Mondays at 9 p.m. or night after Monday at 9 p.m., we have Mikael's Knowledge of Truth. That's Mikael's Knowledge of Truth on night after Monday at 9 p.m. All of them Eastern time. It's all of them Eastern time. As I was saying when I first started everything off, on Tuesdays, on the Rising Tuesdays, which is 7:30 a.m., we have Introduction to Solving Class of Knowledge. And then at 9 p.m. night after Tuesday, we're on Introduction to Solving Class of Knowledge as well at 9 p.m. after Tuesday. So that's twice in that cycle. So other than that, I'd like to thank y'all for your time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing eye. We'll be right back with part 2 of Solomon's Wisdom and Prosperity. That's what we call it. So, first thing, let me see if we got anybody in. My brother, DJ Green 18 says hi. And I think he was the only one that's in that we see so far. So other than that, we're going to say bye to our people over here on Instagram. I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing eye. We'll be right back with part 2. See you in a few moments. Love you. Appreciate love you in always. Peace. There we go. And over here on Facebook, I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Appreciate love you. See you soon and always. Peace. Now over here on YouTube Live, we're in the part 1. We'll be right back with part 2. We'll see in a few moments. And I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Appreciate love you. See you soon and always. Peace.